Today we got to talk about something because what people don't realize about getting excited about sports coming back, right? We're all in the same frame of mind. We're so excited, but each and every day there are so many more people that are testing positive in the league, in the NBA, in the MLB. More and more people are testing positive. And what that means is that those people that test positive are not going to be able to play for a presumed amount of time. Now, how long that time is, we don't know. It's all until they test negative again. But the problem is that the best players testing positive makes the experience for everyone else less enjoyable. And here's what I mean by that. I do not want to watch a Yankee game that's full of minor leaguers because 8 out of 9 of the starting lineup have the coronavirus and cannot play. Meaning that if the Yankees are without Aaron Judge, Gleyber Torres, and DJ LeMahieu, it's almost, to me, not really something I want to watch. Anyways, we're going to talk about the coronavirus impacting the resumption of sports between the NBA and the MLB. Hit the like button, subscribe, stay right here. Now, the whole resumption of sports is not a bad thing, okay? From an entertainment aspect, we all want sports. We all want something to watch. We all want something just to give us some entertainment throughout this dreadful year that has been 2020. The problem is that the resumption of sports, we're going to learn a lot of things. The first thing we're going to learn is, well, we already know this, and that's the power of the virus. But we're going to learn, can we get through sports with it? In my honest opinion, I think it's going to be very difficult. Because right now we're at a point, and this video is going to be pretty much strictly MLB and NBA. We're at a point where there have been positive tests before the league has even started. Now, when you generate it to a percentage, which I did, it's really nothing. But the problem is that they have it, and when they test positive, who are they around? Now, it's not as bad as it could get because the league hasn't started yet. The problem is that if we have 15% of the players that have the virus, everybody that they're around is subjected to it. Basketball is going to be nearly impossible for, in my honest opinion, to execute fully, because basketball, you're in a closed environment. That's the first part. You're playing basketball, 10 people on a court in close proximity, breathing very heavily on one another. Anybody that has that virus is going to give it to somebody. So if they have the virus, I would predict that at least 1 out of those 10 people get it from them. Baseball is a little bit easier in a sense. There's a lot of rules and regulations that I think a lot of the players have to get used to. You're not allowed to pass the baseball around. One of the things that I didn't know off the top of my head is that after a strikeout, the catcher would throw the ball to the third baseman, third to second, second to first, and then around. They're using a new baseball, I think, after every play. Okay, I thought they pretty much did that anyway. I mean, it seemed like it, did it not? There are a total of 41 players in the MLB that have tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, that's not bad from a grand scheme of things. That translates to about 1.2%. The MLB, from what I know, is testing it in waves. So, they're not, I don't know if they're testing every day, but they're testing the whole league in waves. Obviously, the MLB has the money, but damn, I don't know what that's going to cost. 41 players, I don't know how many players in the MLB, it's a hell of a lot more than the NBA, though, have tested positive. And I'm going to go through real quick, not every player. The Arizona Diamondbacks, 3 players tested positive, 4. The Atlanta Braves had 4 players test positive. The Red Sox, 4. Indians, 1. Twins, 4. Rockies, 3. Royals, 3. Brewers, 2. Yankees, 2. A's, 1. Phillies, 3. Cardinals, 3. Padres, 1. Pirates, 2. Giants, 2. And Rangers, 2. So generally, there's no team that has more than 4 positive tests, which is a good sign. But that can quickly change. Now, I think, like I said, MLB is going to have a better job of controlling it. Here's where the point where you pull the plug, it becomes unenjoyable for fans if they don't get to see the best players play. When you watch MLB, you expect the top-notch baseball players to be playing. You don't expect anything else. Let's use the Yankees as an example because, not to stroke it, they have probably the best 1-9 lineup in baseball. If Aaron Judge gets the virus, you're taking the best player off of your team. Okay, Aaron Judge has it. Next thing you know, Aaron Judge gave it to Gleyber Torres. Now Gleyber Torres has it. Gleyber Torres was around with the boys, and he gave it to 3 other men. Just like that, 6 out of 9 of the Yankees starting lineup has it, and it now becomes minor league baseball. I don't want to watch baseball with 7 out of 8 of the starting men in the lineup as foreign players, because that's not Major League Baseball, and that's not discrediting them. That's not discrediting minor leaguers in any way. I'm just telling you, I don't want to sit and watch baseball without minor leaguers. I don't know what somebody mentioned, Mike Trout. Does anybody want to see the Angels without Mike Trout? Does anybody not want to? Mike Trout is the best player in baseball, so why would you want to see that? Now, there's opt-outs as well, and that goes for both leagues. The MLB has 4 players that have opted out of it, meaning that they are not going to play at all this year. And from a grand scheme of things, I believe that's their right? They don't have to. Those 4 players are Ryan Zimmerman, that's from the Nationals. He's a good player that the Nationals need. David Price as a pitcher, another good player. Felix Hernandez was one of the best pitchers in the league, and he just got ravaged by injuries, and he just hasn't been the same since. And then Nick Markakis. Those are 4 players that have opted out. As time goes on, I don't think there's anything that gets... I don't know how it doesn't get worse. More players are testing positive. The more people are positive, the more people think, more people are going to opt out. So I hope it stays this way. Again, the players are going to have to get used to all the protocols and everything that goes into line with it. But from a grand scheme of things, I hope it stays this way. But that's wishful thinking, because I just think if you look at what the coronavirus has done to the United States and other countries as a whole, the only difference there is that the countries that were getting hit by the coronavirus, there was so much that we didn't know when it first started. And now they're taking these protocols. MLB, they might be okay. You're going to expect more positive tests as time goes on, but the question is, where's the line? What do you draw? Where's the line of we're done playing and let's do it? Because MLB is going with a 60-game season. The NBA is got a couple games, they're jumping right into the playoffs. I think personally, for the MLB, they need to test every 5 games if they're playing every day. I don't know exactly how they're going to go about it. That seems like a lot. But that's basically the thoughts on MLB. I don't want to watch minor league baseball. I'm sorry. 41 tests, that translates to 1.2%, which is, on a grand scheme of things, nothing. But we're going to have to see what the results are after the second wave of testing, and we're going to teach us a lot about what is to come with this. As far as the NBA goes, the NBA has been a little bit more rough. They've had 16 out of 302 positive tests. Now, the NBA only has 22 teams that are coming back to Orlando, teams that have a chance to still make the playoffs, teams that are definitely going to make the playoffs. So that's not the whole league. 16 of 302, which translates to 5.3%, which is not that great. Again, grand scheme of things, 5.3% is not that much. Problem is it's a higher number than baseball, and I expected that. I think the NBA is going to have a really tough time with the coronavirus. I think MLB, there's a slight chance they'd be able to pull it off. The NBA is going to have a really tough time. There are 4 players that have already opted out in the NBA as well, and all of these players are key players on their team. Oladipo is the heart and soul of the Pacers. He will be opting out. Bradley Beal is opting out. Bradley Beal needs a new team. That's what he needs. Spencer Dinwiddie opted out, and Spencer Dinwiddie opted out because he tested positive and then got tested again and got tested positive twice. So Spencer Dinwiddie's in a position to where he is just really getting hit by the virus, and he needs to probably opt out. Avery Bradley opted out as well. The NBA is going to be very difficult because Adam Silver has already opened up the eyes, or opened up the possibility of them having to shut down again if it gets worse. Again, the question is, what is the line? Where do you draw that line of when to stop or when to make that decision? Me personally, was looking forward to the NBA playoffs. More than any other playoffs. NHL, I don't know what their update is. I actually have to look into the NHL. If we can talk about a sport that has a little bit of a ways to go, that's the NFL. I'm going to give a shout out to Patrick Mahomes on getting that massive contract deal. A lot of money, but he's definitely a once in a lifetime kind of player. But the NFL, I looked at this the other day. Now, had I lived in Nashville, my ass would be getting season tickets every year. But they have issued a statement to fans in regards to season ticket holdings. Those are that the football stadium is going to be at a less capacity. So the NFL is kind of doing early preparation stages for how they're going to approach this virus. NFL is going to be interesting because we have a lot to learn. What's going to happen? Football, it's outside too, but it's also contact sport. If there is no football season this year, I will absolutely lose my mind because majority of my YouTube channel is centered around football. It's been professional wrestling once the virus started. And again, that's where I go. The NBA, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Next thing you know, James Harden opts out. Russell Westbrook. I don't think James Harden would opt out. I don't see that. Any players with pre-existing health conditions should have no question whatsoever about the idea of opting out. I think someone like James Harden and Westbrook is going to do everything they can to play because they know how crucial they are to their team. Same thing with Oladipo, but James Harden and Westbrook are on different levels. Those are players that I think are going to, that's another thing. What if if LeBron tests positive? That's such a game changer. The same thing goes with Anthony Davis. So I really don't know how they're going to do the NBA. If they're really, I don't know if they'd have the audacity to say that they have to wear masks while they're playing. Because if there's anybody that needs air, it's somebody that's playing a basketball game. Okay, because if you've ever run up and down a court just for 30 minutes a game, I'll tell you this right now, you need your oxygen. So we're going to learn a lot about this going forward. Again, we don't really know. All the questions people have, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? This we don't know until it happens. The end goal of the virus is a vaccine. Now, obviously, I'm being told that that's not something that's possible until the end of the year. That's the way that it looks. So, regardless, 2020 is the rest of it. Another thing that's scary and in the back of a lot of people's minds is the second wave. And that second wave could be orchestrated from either reopening things the way that they have, or the winter when everybody's immune system is fighting off and then more things are around, the flu comes back around. That's kind of what's really scary there. But like I said, time's the only thing that's going to tell. Hopefully, they're able to get through it. Something happens, but they got to take all the protocols, and it's a difficult situation. I watched the other day, my friend sent me something of Andujar hitting a home run off of Garrett Cole. It was batting practice. I mean, kids, how are you going to sit here and watch the World Series and somebody hits a home run to win the World Series and there's literally no noise? Like, how could you win the World Series and then say you can't touch your, you know what I mean? Like, you can't dab your teammate up. Hopefully by then there'll be some type of order. Otherwise, I appreciate everybody watching as always. I've been a little bit busy around going out places, just, well, I don't want to say that, but doing things. And yeah, I appreciate everybody always is watching.